here in today's video with my boo thing.
Hi, it's me. I'm the boo thing.
To share how it is that we bring in $10,000 to $30,000 a month. What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle, and I'm back with another video. I am here for real this time to talk about what it is that we do for a living, why I quit my job and moved to Hawaii to be with my husband, and we brought along our daughter Eva, who homeschools and runs her own business, evashawaiiansheabutter.com. And I am here in today's video with my boo thing.
Hi, it's me. I'm the boo thing.
To share how it is that we bring in $10,000 to $30,000 a month. That's right. Net pay. I get people in the comments all the time like, girl, you must have meant gross. You must have meant this. You must have meant... No, for real. We bring in 5-figure income every month, but I want you to know it has not always been this way. Check out my playlist, Eye in the Sky, where I have been sharing my journey for over 5 years, y'all. Sharing exactly what it's like to bring in from income as low as $400 a week on up to what we are making today. So first off, just a disclaimer, I got it right here to remind myself, we did not plan our life, but we have always been are you done? We didn't plan our life, but we are very strategic, and we have done things that made sense to us. We did not listen to what, you know, the naysayers and people around us might have told us to do, you know, play it safe, don't do this, don't do that. We really took on the things that happened in our life and did what made sense for us. And so my disclaimer to everyone watching this video is be okay with being different. That is how we got to where we are right now. We were okay with being different. People thought we were absolutely crazy for uprooting our daughter from Maryland and transporting her all the way to Hawaii, the island of Oahu, Hawaii. And I must say, I can't imagine her still living in Maryland. Like, she is a totally different person here. She has blossomed. She has thrived. Not to say we will never visit Maryland, because we're traveling right now and heading there. But I do think it's because we have always been different. And that's the reason why we get to make videos like what we're making right now. So, we're going to take it back. You know, I love to share the journey. I love talking to y'all. You see how my mortgage payoff videos go. I'll share the journey. So, my husband and I, by trade, he is an electrician. I am a nurse. And basically what we have going on is, the common theme is that we both graduated from high school with our foot in the workforce door. Our high schools were vocational schools that allowed us to learn a trade while we were in 11th and 12th grade and graduate with a job, a paying job. And I think that that is something that is disappearing from the schools that I see nowadays, but Micah and I were able to support ourselves from the very start. What was your official title graduating from high school?
Electrical construction. I went to high school for electrical construction. So in 12th grade, I went to school half a day and worked half a day for the company. I ended up staying with them for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same for me. I was in a nursing background. I graduated with 2 licenses. I was a certified nursing assistant and a geriatric nursing assistant, which made it even easier to find a job. That meant that I could work as a nurse's aide either in a hospital setting or in an assisted living or nursing home setting. And so I was able to find work immediately. And so if you are someone who is trying to get your child on the path to, you know, being independent, highly recommend looking into the high schools that offer these trade programs. Even if it's something where they make very little money per hour, it creates independence. It gives them a sense of responsibility, and it gives them a financial foundation. So I think that our parents probably didn't even mean to do that, but, you know, to send us to those schools, but those were our schools we were assigned to go to, and it just worked out in our favor. So Micah started out making how much per hour in high school? Do you remember?
$8 an hour. I will say my parents were intentional with it.
Oh, so see, let me not speak for him. Mine weren't. Okay. They knew I wanted to be a nurse, and they heard that the high school that I went to had a solid nursing starter foundation, and so they sent me there. So maybe they did kind of put in the workforce without us even really realizing.
And I knew, for me personally, I knew no matter what, I wasn't going to college.
Ooh, so this is the juiciness. See? Okay, so that's where, and when I was in high school, I graduated high school with a job making about $8 or $8.50 an hour. So around about the same thing. And I was caring for patients on the floor independently with my little nursing assistant license. You couldn't tell me nothing. 18 years old. Come on. So that was how we started. Now for me, I'm going to just switch to the nursing piece. I knew I wanted to be a registered nurse like my grandma. I just wanted to take that path, go to college and transfer to being an RN. But I failed miserably. My first 2 years of college, I am by nature a horrible test taker. And so, yeah, I bombed. Nursing school and pre-nursing courses, I had to take over and over and over. And so finally I got it right on the third try, and I was doing really good. But then I forgot what happened. Something happened in our life.
Was that when you got, you're talking about?
When I decided to all of a sudden switch to PN school, which meant that I wouldn't be a registered nurse, I would be an LPN, which LPNs can only work in certain settings, but they still make good money.
Right.
And so anyway, I decided to go to LPN school. It was aggressive. It was only a 1-year program. So I graduated a year later from community college and with my LPN license and started working right away in an assisted living. I worked my way on up to being, I don't know how I was allowed to be the nurse manager for a 100-bed assisted living, but I was. They saw my work ethic, and so I was serious, and I didn't play about my patients and my staff. And so I worked as a nurse manager. I was a manager in my early 20s. So I guess I had that old soul mentality already, but I was making my salary, and I made about $25 an hour doing that position salary, which to me is crazy. I think I should have been paid way more. Right. How about you? How did you transition pay wise?
Well, for me, I've been an electrician after I graduated, and when I started apprenticeship school. The thing with apprenticeship school is the school kind of negotiates your wage for you, I guess. So when you begin an apprenticeship, I think I automatically got a raise to $11 or $13 an hour. And then every 6 months while you're in school, you get a 50 cents raise. Then after school, you're supposed to be making a certain wage, and it changes from year to year. So I think by the time I finished apprenticeship school, I might have been making $16, $17, $18 an hour. I can't remember. Yeah. But that was within like a 4-year span.
So you doubled your income almost by going to trade school.
Yes, after high school. And that was the same thing. I was working. Then it would be night school 2 times a week.
I remember that.
Yeah.
We hardly ever saw each other.
Right.
Because I was working evening shift and going to school during the day, and he was going to school during the day, going to work during the day.
We were still dating at that time.
Yeah. So that's wild. But yeah, so that is why Micah has always been team. What's it called? Teen trade school? What do you call that? Apprenticeship school? Is that in a trade school, or is that a separate program?
Apprenticeship is like on the job training school. Like my job paid for the school and everything like that.
Wow. Yeah. So the company that you got hired by in high school paid for you to grow your skills.
Right.
And they still paid you to come to work.
Right.
That is a life hack right there. Shoo. Meanwhile, my dad helped pay for my education, and then I also took on small loans. The one thing that I never did, and I think it's because my dad didn't even know they existed. We never took on like huge federal student loans.
Yeah.
Woo, we both avoided student loans because either we didn't know they existed or we just didn't do it. I don't know.
I didn't believe in loans anyway.
Yeah, Micah can't stand it.
If I can't afford it, I can't afford it.
Yeah. That might have saved us in our 20s. Mm-hmm. Because now, unfortunately, so many people I work with, we dealing with these student loans. But anyway, okay, so that's the backstory. Now let's bring it to current and what made the decision easy for us to decide to move to Hawaii and take on this job transfer. So Micah, started as a fire alarm an electrician who worked in fire alarm, which means that was his specialty. And this is what I mean when things just happen in life and you don't even really realize what it is until it happens. But for some reason, when Micah worked for this company out of high school, he was trained heavily or sent heavily to work with fire alarm. Is that correct?
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like working with fire alarm, and I like the fire alarm. I liked working with fire alarm because I kind of got to do my own thing. It was different than a regular electrical, and I could kind of be controlled, like in charge of that part of the project,
And work with less people. You were kind of independently working almost as a fire alarm.
Yes.
And how funny is it that it was the job nobody else wanted to do? And I think that's interesting that Micah was like, it's the job for me. Right. I actually prefer it because it's less, interaction with people. And so by Micah, growing his skills from a young age, I'm talking, he was doing fire alarm early 20s, maybe even earlier. I don't know. I just remember him talking about fire alarm. I didn't really know what it was. I just knew what it meant was if you ever called 911 because your fire alarms were going off, it was people who created that system and put that in place so that people, when 911 comes, they know how to go to the panel and see where the fire is. Is that right? The piece, that's the piece I know. I don't know. But anyway, it's very intricate work. And it takes a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge. And so he's very humble, but this man was doing it. So anyway, he was working with this company for all these years and making about $50,000 a year. He used to be paid weekly and all that jazz. And so then one day tell him about the one day you found out about this company who was hiring. How did that go?
Well, actually, I found out about this company that was hiring a while ago because when a young guy started in our company, I'm not going to put his name out there. He probably wouldn't want out there. But he was a good guy, smart guy, came in, went through apprenticeship, top of his class in apprenticeship. Actually, he got sent to, I feel like it was Hawaii. Because like in an apprenticeship, at the end of the year, they have like an apprenticeship challenge or something like that, where they bring all these kids from apprenticeship and they do like a skills challenge and you win awards. And he got picked for that. But the company sponsored him to go out and put the company's name out there. All this blah 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 blah. But anyway, bright kid, went through apprenticeship, and then he was like, after apprenticeship, he was like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving, going to this other company. And he was like, well, where you going? And he didn't give us a whole lot of details, but he talked about it, and it sounded good. I think I put in an application back then, but never heard anything back. This was probably 10 years into my time with my original company, and never heard anything back. So I said, forget it. I just stick with this company, and for till I find something better. Because I was actively looking the whole time, but I was like, I'm not going to make a parallel move. That didn't make sense. But that was the first time I heard about it. Then I think fast forward 5 years later, I was like, I'm done with this company. I'm out of here, no matter what.
He had quit about 3-4 times, and they would negotiate while he was quitting, and he would stay longer.
Yeah, I actually went to my boss and I was like, look, I've been stagnant for a long time here. I want to either get trained in something new. I want to progress. There's something, is there anything else I could be doing more? I'm feeling stagnant. There's nothing, And he said, well, you pretty much know everything that we got. We need you where you are. And so after that, I was like, well, it's time for me to move on and find something else. I think at the time he gave me more money, to kind of hush me down. But he was like, we need you where you are, So I was like, well, I like this extra money, but I'm out of here, So
how much extra money would you go up to? You think about? What was your last money that you remember? How much were you making per hour before you switched to this new company?
I want to say it was about $26 an hour, maybe.
And we're talking in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
The year.
No, this is like 2014, 13.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I started early 2000s. I started with them in 2000. So this is 2015, 16. So matter of fact, there was a couple other guys that were leaving around the same time as I was. And the guy was like, well, man, I've been putting applications to this company. And come to find out it was the same company that I had applied for 5 years ago. He was like, I've been putting applications in. He was like, you should try it too because I really like what they're talking about, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I did it. And I got like a call back almost immediately this time. And, went through an application process. And it was kind of sad because I got hired on and he didn't at that time, you know. And I was like, you know, I was, you know, like maybe I should back out, you know, because I know you put it in first, you know, and maybe, you know, because I went in for my interview and then like I was walking out and he was walking in. And I got the job and I was about to turn it down because I was like, I didn't feel right because he was the one who told me about it. And I was like, he should, you know. But it ended up working. He was like, no, you got in. Go ahead, take it. He was like, they got other positions. And he did get a position, which was more, I think, better tailored for what he did anyway. It was more money for him and everything like that. But I was happy with my position because it was making about at least $10 more than I was making.
I remember we saw the offer letter and me and you just looked at each other like, yo, it was like I think $35 an hour.
It was something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
We didn't know you could make money like this. I just like we knew, but we didn't know anybody personally,
right?
Who was making $35 an hour and they weren't even barely 30.
Which is sad, but you know.
I'm talking. You usually hear people who make money who are older.
Right.
I'll say it like that. We knew plenty of people who made money, but usually they were older than us, 40s, 50s, 60s, who made, so they put in the time. Right. So for Micah to be in his early 30s, making $35 an hour, what's your rule, Micah?
So I had this rule, and like the first time I made like money, I can't remember how old I was, but my pay matched my age, and I'm like, this is cool. And I said, so from here on out, my goal is to make my pay match my age.
Example, Micah.
So, if I'm 20 years old, I should be making $20 an hour. If I'm 30 years old, I should be making minimum $30 an hour. That was my goal. And I said, you know, if that's the case, by the time I'm 60, 70 something, I should be making $60, $70 an hour.
And so, I think that is what helped us try new things in life and try new companies and not be scared to try different jobs, because I was not happy with my pay, but I didn't have anything to compare it to. I didn't know, like, am I making the right amount of money for what I do? Everybody was so secretive about money and how much they make. I couldn't stand that mess. I'm like, we need to be networking and working with each other. This is why unions thrive at certain times and in certain states, because everybody makes the same amount of money. It's not so hush hush. Right. And so when I saw what I was making, you know, and I wasn't happy. And so I was so happy for him when he was making 35 before he turned 35. So just take that information and do what you will with it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you started with the new company and how you even found out that it could be an option to put in for a job transfer.
How I started?
How did you know that there was even an option for a job transfer?
Oh, you just hear stuff around the option. Oh, we're doing work in Japan. Oh, we're doing work here. We're doing work there. It's like things
this
like
is crazy. It's normal to you, but that's not normal for the rest of us. You have a company that you work for that has contracted work everywhere, all over the world.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you're hearing just mind your business, head down in the office, and you're hearing, oh, I'm putting in for a transfer to Japan. Oh, I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
So how did you know that you could get in on it?
I just asked. I said, hey, you know, I'm hearing all this chit chat. what do I got to do to be part of this chit chat? I really wanted to go to Japan. And at the time, I didn't qualify for it. I was a new employee.
Also, I literally had just gave birth to Eva. Yeah. I feel like she was like young. And I could not entertain Micah talking about, let's move to Japan. And what's crazy is we could have been making even more money. Japan money was like, looking back at it, I should have just went and thought about it later. But
trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we eventually, I don't want to say settled in Hawaii, but we found out there were
What were the options? What were the options that you knew about for job transfer? What places?
Well, actually, it was Hawaii. There were going to be options later if Hawaii was successful, which was like Atlanta, Texas, different places like that.
So Hawaii was the place that they were like, if we do good at this position, taking on this all these responsibilities and filling these jobs, then we'll get additional contracts in other states.
Right.
Okay, got you.
So I talked to the wife. I said, hey, company might have some work in Hawaii. You know, do you want to try it out for a while because I know she had turned down the pan, so I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think she would go for it, but I was just at least putting it out there, and she was like, "Yeah, we're going to Hawaii."
So he didn't know, but I had been praying to get out of Baltimore. I was so done with Baltimore. If you know, you know. And I was ready for something new. I was like, can I please have a beach? Can I please have warm weather year round? And can I please go somewhere where I can think and make new friends and create new experiences with my husband and daughter? And so then enters Micah, talking about, hey, what's up? You want to go to Hawaii for a few months?
Yeah.
Yes. So he didn't know that piece at all, which was hilarious.
Because he had just turned down
literally just turned down Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. So, fast forward now. Well, we're not in Hawaii right now, but.
So, when you took on this new job, we're going to talk about the perks. What made it a no-brainer for us. And we're also going to just mention as a reminder of why we were able to get up and just go. We were just finishing a trip to Mexico to check on his parents and to have a little fun with them. And we finally, Micah put in his bid for Hawaii months and heard nothing back for months. Right. And he would check in every once in a while. Hey, I'm still on the list, right? I'm still on the list. And they're like, yep, we'll let you know. And finally, he got the call on our last day in Mexico, our last full day. And they're like, hey, listen, we think we're going to need you soon in Hawaii. Are you still interested?
Actually, it was like, hey, we usually go to Hawaii. Can you be in Hawaii? I was like, I'm in Mexico. They were like, what? I'm in Mexico. Oh, okay, all right. We're going to have to go with somebody else then. I went, all this. Matter of fact, because I went up to my supervisor and look, we got this trip going to Mexico. I know I'm on this list for Hawaii. And I just want to know, like, if y'all have a time frame, because I can cancel my Hawaii trip if I know my Mexico trip if I know I'm going to Hawaii. I can save a bunch of money. There's beaches in Hawaii, and we're going to Mexico for the beach. So let me know something. Before he was like, no, you're fine. You got plenty of time. Go enjoy your vacation with your family. Blah blah blah. So we spend a few $1,000s to go to Mexico, and then while we're there, like, oh yeah, we need you to go to Hawaii. Man, I could have.
But why that worked out, in hindsight, looking back after some things happened, when Micah landed in Hawaii, when Micah landed in Hawaii, he didn't have a day off for a very long time.
Right.
Micah worked like crazy because they were short-staffed. So anyway, he says yes, and so they said, okay, we're going to hit you back Friday close of business with arrangements. And no. Oh, sorry. I'm about to see. This is why you gotta just tell it.
And they were that was that, and I thought I had just got passed over. So, end of our trip, because we go on long trips. We get back. My first night back because I work night shift. First night back at work. I came back to work on a Thursday and work overnight and get off for the Friday morning. So Friday morning, I'm dropping off some paperwork, and I'm talking to like one of the secretaries. So they're like, "Yeah, I'm trying to go to Hawaii, but it didn't work out and things like that. So I'm just waiting to hear something." And then I hear this voice out the back. "You're trying to go to Hawaii? Yeah, come in my office." It's like the big boss is like, "We need somebody to go be there by Monday morning." And keep in mind, this is Friday morning. I'm just getting off of work. We need somebody to be there working Monday morning. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. What you mean? What can I do it? And he's like, yeah. So, all right, we're gonna get you your plane and everything, and you can be there Monday morning. And I think it was supposed to be like a 3-month stint, Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, cool, bet. Because our original plan was just to move to Hawaii anyway. Because I know they were looking for people permanent, and I was like, yeah, I can do that permanent. But
So by him doing it this way, they have to help. Because he's being sent out. So they got to give us some perks that we about to drop on y'all and let you know what those perks were. But if he had taken on the job himself and applied directly to Hawaii, there would have been no perks.
Right. So, fast forward, I get home, I'm like, wake up.
And he never would dare wake me up unless the house is on fire. I don't play about myself.
She's a mean sleeper. So I'm like, wake up. They want me to be in Hawaii to work on Monday. Now keep in mind, this is Friday morning? I was like, and she's like, what? I can't remember your.
I was in shock.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
So within a few hours, we had tons of people in the house helping us move stuff and everything like that. It was crazy. Our friends really came together to help us, get everything together.
And family.
Because Rochelle was like, I'm emptying out this whole house. Yeah. We're not coming back. Because our original plan was to move there anyway.
And mind you, our friends kept on holding on to the 3-month stance. They're like, you'll be back in 3 months. You shouldn't get rid of all this. And I was like, it's free. Take it. Right. I literally picked up the phone as soon as he said, like, for real, we're doing this. And I made like 3 phone calls, and I told them to each call 3 people. I remember. I said, I don't have time. I sent a massive group text to one to the friends chat and one to the family chat. And I said, everything must go. Can you come help me pack and come pick up everything that belongs to you? Because for some reason, people would leave their stuff at our house all the time because they would come over so much. So anyway, within, I would say from Friday to Sunday, over 100 people came over our house. I want to let you know, like, it was the craziest thing ever. There were people triple parked in our street. I let the neighbors know what was going on. Nobody gave us any problems. The police were never called. I don't know how it worked out so smooth. But when I tell you people came nonstop, I might have slept 2 or 3 hours. Some people slept at our house over the weekend to help me pack. And so, Micah, we sent him off on that Sunday. Your flight was Sunday. And mind you, this is like a 13-hour flight. So, and he has to sleep on this flight because he got to report to work the Monday morning. So, Micah was gone, and it was up to me and Eva to get the rest done by that Tuesday. And so we ramped it up even more between Sunday and Tuesday.